Hey all, sorry if you hear noise in the background. Not only is this my gym, but I have a mini laundry room over there where I'm doing my laundry this morning. Anyways, Misty was asking a question. She's getting pain in her wrist when she does push-ups, and I'm assuming that she's doing them in this position here, hands flat on the ground, either to the side or angled or straight up and down. There's ways that you can change how you do a push-up in order to make it less painful and even not painful at all, depending on what's going on with your wrists. I also want to point out that some people get a tennis elbow from doing push-ups in this position, because cranking your hands back like this engages your forearm extensors, and your extensors are attached over here on your elbow. And so if one of the tendons gets inflamed, you get tendonitis, and that's tennis elbow. So I'm going to give you some options to make it easier so that you're not experiencing that pain as much as possible. First off, let's talk about what a proper push-up looks like, okay? So if you were looking at me from the ground up, you would see this. You would see my hands in line kind of with my chest, in between my chest and my shoulders, and just outside my shoulders, not way out here, not in here, but just outside my shoulders. People tend to do it a little too close in like this. Again, make sure that the inside of your hand is in line with the outside of your shoulder, okay? And if you can do a full push-up, great. So that means your toes all the way to your head is a straight line, so that if I put, for example, this dowel rod on my back while I was doing a push-up, you would see that my head, my shoulder blades, my butt are all touching it, like this, okay? So perfectly straight back. Try not to let the lower back sag when you're doing the push-up as well. Here's what it looks like, okay? So my hands are just outside my shoulders, and I come down literally until my nose touches the ground and up. People tend to go shallow on push-ups. Don't do that. If you can't do a full push-up on your toes, go to your knees, okay? If you can't do a full push-up on your knees, not a problem, and this is one way of varying it to make it easier so you have less pressure on your wrist. Use a stability ball, where's my stability ball, or an ottoman, or a chair, or a bench, or something you can lay over, like this, okay? So now, I'm not lifting my whole body, I'm only lifting half of it, and the push-up is easier, okay? And it gets easier the further back I roll like this. This is a really easy push-up, and then as I come out further forward, the push-up gets harder. So I can vary the intensity of the push-up by varying my position on the ball or the ottoman or the chair, bench, whatever it is I'm using, okay? That's one way of making the push-up easier so that you can take pressure off your wrists. Another way is, well, actually, before I get to that, I'm going to show you another great option. Sorry, I have to move the camera because the only wall I have in this gym where I can demonstrate stuff is over here. So it's doing push-ups against a wall, right? So same thing, push-up position, but against a wall like this, okay? And you can make the push-up harder by stepping out, increasing the angle. And you can make it easier by making yourself more vertical, okay? So that's a way of doing it. Now, you may find even doing a push-up against a wall, which is generally really easy for the upper body muscles, the pecs that are working, you may still find that that hurts your wrists. So I'm going to show you a way of varying it that you can do on the wall or on the ground. Rather than using your hands like this, rotate so that your knuckles, your first two knuckles, are up against the wall and your wrist is perfectly straight, okay? So I used to box, and anytime you throw a punch, you want to have your wrist perfectly straight, and you're basically striking with the front of your fist like this, because the line of force is straight from here, from the knuckles, all the way up the arm, okay? Now, some of you are looking at that going, oh, it's going to hurt my knuckles. Not a problem. I have these handy little pads that I use in my gym. You can use anything. You use a couple of small pillows, whatever. Just put them on the wall, and your knuckles against them, and here you go. Now, you just do a push-up. Now I've got my palms facing each other as I do these. You can also rotate it so that your palms are facing down, so it's kind of like the regular push-up position. Not a problem, but you'll find that a lot easier. First off, it's an easier way to do a push-up, but second off, I think you'll find that if you keep your wrists straight, that there's a lot less stress on the wrist. I've had several clients over the years who've had wrist problems when doing push-ups. I'm just going to turn the camera back here because I want to demonstrate some more stuff over here. So I've had several clients who've had wrist problems, and they've reported that when they make these variations, it feels better. Okay, so you can do the same thing on the ground, right? So the good old martial arts push-up where you got your knuckles on the ground and you're doing push-ups, you know, that's one thing you can do if you're strong enough to do a regular push-up and your wrists are strong. I mean, they may hurt, but they may still be strong. And yes, I know there's a lot of ladies in this group, and some of you might think that you're not strong enough, or maybe even women aren't strong enough to do knuckle push-ups. But I'm going to tell you something. In all the years I trained in many different martial arts, the ladies were right there alongside of the guys doing the knuckle push-ups. I'm a big equal opportunity guy here, so I actually believe that pound for pound, a lot of ladies are stronger than guys. So don't let any messaging from culture, society, or anything talk to you or tell you that you can't do this, because you can, as long as it doesn't hurt, okay? So the problem may be a weakness in the wrist, may not. Just pay attention. You know, this may help it, it may hinder it, okay? So the knuckle thing is a great idea, but probably better than the knuckle thing to start would be to use something like this. These are push-up bars. You can buy them literally for a few dollars, and what they allow you to do, if I come closer, you can see this. My wrist, same thing as doing a knuckle push-up, except the pressure is now on my palm, but my wrists are straight, right? So I'm doing a push-up, and my wrists stay straight, versus having the hands crank back like this. Okay, now some of you might not want to invest even a few dollars in this, not a problem. If you've got a couple of dumbbells, you can do the same thing. Here we go. Right? You may find this is the answer to your problems. And again, you know, if you can't do a push-up on your knees, not a problem. Or on your toes, not a problem. Do them on your knees, okay? And if that doesn't work, you can use the ottoman or the stability ball, using the weights or using the push-up bars. So basically, what you want to do is you want to first try doing push-ups the way you're used to doing them, with making some modification that allows you to keep the wrist straight. That might mean on your knuckles, using the bars, or using dumbbells, okay? And if that still hurts, then let's say you're doing push-ups on your toes, try it on your knees. If that still hurts, try it against the wall, or using a stability ball, or an ottoman, okay? So the way you're doing push-ups now, just change your grip. So change from the hands on the ground, make that change first, and then slowly make changes until you find the right combination for you, the right combination of hand position, either on your knuckles or using the bars or whatever, and the type of push-up. Knees, toes, against the wall, stability ball, ottoman, whatever. Okay? All right, any questions or comments? Drop them down below, and I'll be interested to see how this works for you.